Here we have two concentric circles, both with their center at the point O. The larger circle has 13 centimeter radius. The smaller circle has 8 centimeter radius. Now AB is a diameter of the larger circle and BE is a tangent of the smaller circle. What we need to find is the length of this line segment AD. Now look at the small circle. What do you notice? BE is its tangent. And now what do we know? At the point of contact, the radius and the tangent are perpendicular to one another. That means what? BE is perpendicular to OD. But now look at the same BE, but then with respect to the bigger circle, the one with 13 centimeter as its radius. This was with respect to the smaller one, the one which had 8 centimeter radius, right? But when you look at the bigger circle, what is it? It is just a chord. And what is OD? OD is the perpendicular from the center. And now what do we know? A perpendicular from the center will bisect the chord into two equal parts. So what do we have? As it is the chord of the bigger circle, we see that the perpendicular from the center divides it into two equal parts, which means what? BD and DE are equal to one another. Also, what do you have? BO and OA are also equal to one another. Why is it? Because they are the radii of the bigger circle. Now join this AE. Now if you look at the triangle ABE, you will notice that the line OD joins the midpoints of two of the sides of this triangle. When that happens by midpoint theorem, what do we know? In a triangle, if you have a line which joins the midpoints of two sides, then what do you know about this line? This line will be parallel to the third side. Not only that, it will not only be parallel, it will be half of the third side of the triangle, which means what? OD is parallel to AE. Not only that, OD is only half of AE. But then what is OD? It is the radius of the smaller circle, which means if this is 8 centimeter, this much would be what? 16 centimeters. Now what we need to find is the length of this line segment AD. What do we have? These two lines are parallel to one another. By the midpoint theorem, we just proved that, right? Now if they are parallel, what do you know? There is a transversal cutting them and the corresponding angles are equal to one another, which means if this is 90 degrees, this is also 90 degrees. Now do you see where we are going with this? We have a right triangle, we have one of its sides, and we need the hypotenuse. All we need is to find this length here, BE. And how do we find that? Look at the small triangle, triangle OBD. What is it again? A right triangle. Here you see a right triangle. What is its hypotenuse? The side opposite to the right triangle, which is what? OB square. That is its hypotenuse. So OB square is OD square plus BD square. That means what? BD square is equal to what? OB square minus OD square. But OB square is what? It is the radius of the bigger circle, and OD is the radius of the smaller circle. So what you have is 105, which means what? BD is square root of 105. But what we need is not BD. What we need is DE. But then what do we know? These two are equal, right? BD and DE are equal. So DE is also square root of 105. So if you consider triangle AED, you need its hypotenuse, which is AD square. Apply the Pythagoras theorem and you get this is equal to So the length of this line segment AD is 19 centimeters. So that is all for today. Till we meet again, you take care. Assalamu alaikum.